Michael?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Luppino, and I'm speaking to you live from beautiful Brooklyn, New York. The project that, first of all, I'd like to say, one, how honored I am to be the winner of the Alumni Award and to be included with all the marvelous talent that's being exhibited here. This project is about as personal a project as I've ever done. I just as a bit of reference, I kind of came from a commercial background and for a long time had a very successful commercial business here in New York City. And at the kind of turn of the century and at the time of the perfect storm of kind of economy and technology, et cetera, I found myself kind of questioning whether or not I still wanted to be involved with photography. I still love taking pictures. The business kind of didn't make sense to me anymore, et cetera. And so I said to myself about 2015, or I guess started the first day of 2016, I kind of challenged myself to say, listen, why don't you, if you need to prove to yourself that you're still into this and do it, and for maybe reasons that go beyond the commercial end of it. And so I challenged myself to see if I could go out every day and make one image that I liked every single day. And this was weird for me because I was never a person who carried a camera around. I was a maker of pictures, not a taker of pictures. I produced the stuff that advertisers wanted to have shot for them, and along with that, and compromised in all the ways that come along with that, being in that world. And I said to myself, go out and make a new picture every day, and there's only one rule. Just make yourself happy with that picture. Make sure that you are the only audience, no compromise, whatever it is. And quite frankly, I wasn't sure that I'd be able to do it. I was kind of like, well, I haven't done this. So I simplified it down as far as I could, took one camera, one lens, and went out for the very first time. And to my surprise, not only had I made a picture that I liked, but I'd made probably 10 pictures that I really liked before I got off my block in Brooklyn. So then I had to decide which one was going to be my favorite and what would I do with the other images, and all of which kind of got stored. And this went on for about a year or so. And I had all these images. I found myself with this kind of embarrassment of riches of things that I liked. And one day, quite by accident, I noticed that no matter what I was shooting, there was a certain look to it that, I always knew I had kind of a look in a commercial way, but it was completely unintentional. It was just coming out. And so I laid down the pictures and I said, wow, these kind of look good side by side. Now, certainly, I didn't invent the idea of shooting triptychs, 3 pictures of things, but one of the rules, in doing this work, I kind of set up beyond the idea of just making the picture that I like. For the triptychs, I said, well, if I'm going to do this, I want this to be as non-thematic as I can possibly make it. Because most of the triptychs that you see that people shoot, they're kind of portraits, and there's not that there's anything wrong with them. They're all of, say, one celebrity in different positions, of the same portrait, that sort of thing. Or I didn't want it to become something where you look at it and say, oh, these are all leaves, or oh, these are all, whatever they happen to be. And so as I went through and started editing and looking at the images, I really found that I found images throughout this kind of large collection that I've built up and continue to build up that would work together, had the non-thematic things. And basically for me, the requirements for the triptych is that they carry your eye from one picture to the next, a basic photo editing kind of idea. And yet I want the viewer to really be the person who tells me what this is about. And so as a result, I've spent now 5 years, my 1-year project has turned into 5 years, and I'm kind of in that position where I credit in a way, Stephen King, the writer, who said, well, you know, he writes every day. He insists that he makes himself write 1,500 words a day. And someone asked him, why do you do that? And he said, because I'm afraid if I stop, I'll never do it again. And the one thing that is great about this, one, it's really made me look at the world in a different way. Very much to my surprise, looking at the world as photographs, each of these different individual things that I find in different neighborhoods in Brooklyn, wherever I happen to be, because I'm making a picture every single day, I'm looking for that picture of the day. And, you know, after I was in it for a while, I heard, I did hear a quote that I thought was really relevant, because I wanted always these to be considered. They're not just something I take on the fly. I work in squares because I think it makes me concentrate more on the composition of them. But I also think that it's very important to allow myself this kind of luxury of having the time to do that daily. And Dorothea Lange once said that in order to be a really good photographer, you have to allow yourself the time to become immersed in the process. And this is a result of this kind of immersion daily. And not only the pictures that I really like, and I think that's the picture that I want to post on Instagram or whatever for that day, but all these other photographs spring from that. And so I feel very, very lucky. And so I present them in this way, and people sometimes ask me, well, what's it about? And I said, well, you tell me. I have no idea. That my job's I've enjoyed my part of it. You can enjoy your part of trying to figure out what the heck I'm talking about or what you see there. And so it has a lot to do with structure and color and the real mirepoix of photography. You know, if you're a cook, you know, mirepoix is kind of the basics of French and Italian cooking. For me, light, color, and texture is what it's about. And that's, if someone asks me, that's my answer. It's light, color, and texture. Beyond that, whatever you see, you see.
Thank you.
Hey, Michael, we look forward to seeing your show in the gallery when the pandemic is over.
Well, thanks, Terry. I'm very, very excited about doing that, because I've actually never been in a position to put a whole lot of this work up in one place. And now it's back to editing. So, but thank you all very much again for having me.